Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt like, I don't know, like a nobody, completely overlooked? Or
Mm,
maybe you've struggled, really struggled, to make a genuine connection with someone important. To you, I mean.
yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever wish you could just sort of effortlessly charm anyone you meet?
Mm.
Make those really impactful first impressions, the ones that stick,
Right.
and just navigate any social situation or professional one with real grace and confidence?
Well, today we're embarking on a really deep dive into this fascinating and often kind of hidden world of human interaction. Communication, really.
Okay.
We're going to peel back the layers, look at those subtle signals, the ones that are often subconscious that we're constantly sending and receiving.
All the time.
Exactly. And our mission, really, is to uncover concrete, actionable techniques, things that can genuinely transform the way you connect with, well, everyone in your life. Unlock new levels of influence, understanding.
Because it's so important, isn't it? In a world that's just brimming with information, where attention spans are so short.
So short, fleeting.
Mastering communication, it isn't just like being polite. It's fundamental. It's about building real relationships, fostering trust, and ultimately achieving your goals, personal and professional.
Absolutely. You rarely get there alone.
No, success isn't a solo journey, right? It's built, really meticulously built on the connections you make, the impact you have on others.
And let's be super clear here. This isn't about manipulation. Not at all.
No, good point.
It's about authentic engagement. It's about
Yeah.
deeply understanding the other person and, building genuine bridges between you.
Exactly. So, what are we going to learn today? What are the takeaways?
What you're going to learn in this deep dive is, I think, genuinely transformative. We're going to really illuminate how you can intrigue people without even saying a word.
Wow. Okay.
What to confidently say after that initial, sometimes awkward hi. How to communicate with the poise and impact of someone who's, highly respected.
Like a VIP.
Exactly. How to engage knowledgeably with anyone, really, regardless of their background. We'll explore ways to infuse your conversations with deeper meaning. We'll delve into the subtle art of praise.
That's a tricky one.
It is. And we'll conquer the unique challenges of phone communication, which is a whole different ballgame.
Oh, yeah.
And even show you how to work any room like a seasoned pro. So get ready for some, I think, truly eye-opening insights and strategies you can use immediately, like today.
Fantastic. Let's get into it.
Intrigue, without saying a word, the power of first impressions.
Okay, let's start right at the beginning. That critical first impression. There's this idea, sometimes called the 10-second rule, and it basically suggests you have this incredibly short window, like mere seconds, to make a really critical initial impression.
It's almost instantaneous.
Right. And what's wild is people aren't even consciously judging you yet. They're forming these subconscious perceptions before a rational thought even, clicks into place.
It's like a primal hit. That's a good way to put it. It lays the groundwork, the foundation for the entire relationship that follows.
So every little thing matters, like how you move or smile.
Every subtle movement, yeah. The way you smile, the choices you make, even the words you don't say, it can either draw people in powerfully or, subtly push them away.
Like an instinct.
Exactly. Before your conscious brain has time to process everything, you get this intuitive sense about someone. And that first feeling, that immediate impression, it just colors how you see them from then on.
So your initial presentation, both the conscious stuff and the subconscious stuff you're giving off, it's paramount.
It really is. And again, it's not about being fake. It's about understanding these signals, becoming aware of them, and then intentionally choosing to project positive ones. Authentically positive, of course.
Okay, so if that window's so short, how do we actually start captivating someone without even speaking? What's the first step?
All right, technique number one, the flooding smile.
The flooding smile.
Okay. Now, most of us, you included probably, when we greet someone, we tend to flash this immediate kind of generic smile, right?
It's almost automatic, like a reflex.
Exactly. Like anyone walking into your line of sight gets the same quick slash of teeth. But this technique, it suggests something more deliberate, more impactful.
How does it work?
Instead, you intentionally look at the other person's face. For a full second, you pause. You let yourself really soak in their presence, their unique persona,
Okay, take them in.
Then, and only then, do you let a big, warm, responsive smile slowly flood over your entire face. It should reach your eyes, make them sparkle.
The slow build.
Precisely. And the power of this flooding smile is in that deliberate split-second delay.
Why? What does that delay signal?
It sends this undeniable subconscious message. This smile is genuine, it's warm, and it's exclusively for you.
Ah, I see. It makes them feel special.
Deeply connected, yeah, because they perceive your reaction as tailored just for them. There's a great example, Missy, who inherited her family's box business.
Oh.
She was naturally charming, but kind of had this giggling girl demeanor. When she consciously adopted this slower, more deliberate flooding smile as CEO, it fundamentally changed how people saw her.
How so?
She started seeming more insightful, more serious, definitely more sincere. And it wasn't just perception, it directly led to her closing 3 major new client deals.
Wow. Just from changing her smile timing.
It's a powerful testament, isn't it? How a seemingly tiny intentional change in a nonverbal cue can have such substantial real-world results.
That really is incredible. And sticking with nonverbals, let's talk eye contact. We all know it's important, but you hear it possesses this immense power, almost primal.
It absolutely does. Your eyes can evoke emotions, attract, repel. It's potent stuff.
But it's more complex than just make good eye contact, right? You mentioned it needs to be fine-tuned.
Oh, definitely. It needs to be artfully managed almost so it doesn't feel intrusive or, aggressive. Mastering the nuances can hugely influence how intelligent, insightful, even captivating you appear.
Is there research on this?
Yeah, there's a fascinating study in Boston. They looked at eye contact in just casual conversations. Subjects who were subtly prompted to maintain more intense eye contact actually reported significantly higher feelings of respect and fondness for their partners.
Even if the partners weren't doing anything special.
Exactly. Even if their partners were just like counting blanks. It really highlights that deep subconscious impact that a sustained, attentive gaze has on how we connect.
Okay, so how do we harness that power? Make our eyes work for us.
Right, our next technique. Sticky eyes.
Sticky eyes. Sounds intriguing.
Imagine, just for a moment, that your eyes are literally glued to your conversation partners with this warm, incredibly sticky taffy.
Okay, I'm visualizing the taffy.
The key is you don't break eye contact. Not even right after they finish speaking. Maintain it for a beat.
Even in the silence?
Especially then. And when you absolutely have to look away, maybe something else catches your eye or you need to glance aside, you do it ever so slowly, reluctantly. Like you're stretching that imaginary gooey taffy until the tiny string finally almost imperceptibly breaks.
What does that convey, that
Yeah.
reluctance?
It broadcasts this profound, visceral message of deep comprehension and unwavering respect. It makes you appear remarkably intelligent and, surprisingly, an abstract thinker.
Why an abstract thinker?
Because you're showing you can maintain intense focus even through silences. Your thoughts aren't easily distracted by just, superficial stuff. It suggests depth.
Any example?
I actually had a really personal experience with this. I was leading a seminar, and there was a woman there who was hearing impaired. Her eyes were just hungrily glued to my face the entire time.
Wow.
I felt incredibly inspired. I thought I was just captivating her with my amazing words, right?
Yeah, true.
It was only much later I realized she was reading my lips. But here's the thing. Despite the misunderstanding of why she was so focused, that intense, unwavering eye contact fostered such a powerful, unspoken connection that I willingly spent an extra hour recapping the entire seminar just for her.
That's the power of sticky eyes in action.
Exactly. Regardless of the reason behind the intensity, the effect was profound connection.
Okay, so sticky eyes for respect and intelligence. Is there a bolder version?
There is, but use this one with caution. It's called epoxy eyes.
Epoxy, like the glue.
Precisely. This is a more brazen technique. You watch your target person even when someone else is talking. You keep your gaze fixed on the man or woman you want to impact.
Ooh, okay. That sounds intense.
It is. It sends out signals of interest blended with complete confidence. It can actually increase the other person's heartbeat, release adrenaline-like substances, similar to the feeling of falling in love, actually, due to phenylethylamine.
Wow. But the caution.
Huge caution. This technique is potent. It can easily be perceived as arrogant, even obnoxious, if it's overdone or if the person isn't receptive or attracted to you.
Right.
Especially on strangers. A Yale study showed men could feel hostile or threatened by prolonged stares from other men. So never use this on strangers in public for romantic goals that could be seriously misconstrued. Use it sparingly, maybe in a social setting where there's already some established connection or interest.
Got it. Epoxy eyes. Handle with extreme care. Okay, moving on from eyes.
Yeah.
What about overall presence, posture?
Absolutely crucial for that initial impression. This brings us to hang by your teeth.
Hang by your teeth.
It's a visualization.
Yeah.
It's all about cultivating that winning, confident posture. So before you walk through any door, office, party, your own home, visualize a circus iron jaw bit, the kind acrobats use.
Yeah.
Imagine it hanging just above your head. Now, metaphorically, take a bite. Let it gently pull your cheeks back into a subtle, confident smile, and most importantly, let it lift you up. Feel it stretching your entire body into perfect posture.
So head high, shoulders back.
Head high, shoulders gently back, torso lifted out of your hips, feet feeling light, almost weightless, like you're floating.
Why is this visualization so effective?
Because it helps you habitually project the image of someone who is, well, a winner. Someone accustomed to feeling pride, success, the joy of being alive. Good posture is truly the first, often subconscious mark of a confident, successful person.
And practicing it helps build the habit.
Exactly. Imagine consciously doing this maybe 60 times a day every time you pass through a doorway. Consistent practice can genuinely transform your natural demeanor. It helps you float into the room, whether your goal is to captivate a crowd or confidently close that sale. It's about embodying success before you even speak.
Powerful stuff. And connecting that confidence with warmth, you mentioned a technique called treat people like big babies. It sounds odd.
It does sound a bit strange at first, I know, but it's profoundly effective. The core idea is remembering that deep inside, every single person, no matter their age or status, there's that big baby part of us.
The part that craves recognition.
Recognition, acceptance, feeling truly special. Exactly. So when someone flashes you a smile, this technique says, don't just give back a polite, fleeting grin.
What do you do instead?
You offer a beautiful, big, full smile. You turn your entire body fully towards them. Maybe even reach out with a friendly, appropriate touch to their arm. Show genuine openness.
Why does that work so well?
Because it taps directly into and reinforces that universal human desire to be seen as the center of the universe, at least in that moment.
Yeah.
It makes them feel utterly unique and valued.
Like that saying, people don't care how much you know.
Until I know how much you care about them. Precisely. Showing genuine warmth, unreserved attention, authentic engagement, it just makes people gravitate towards you. They like you.
Is there an example of this?
Yeah, Carla, a copywriter who is newly divorced, she started consciously applying this. She gave the men she met the same full, welcoming smile and undivided attention she'd naturally give to a small child, like a little boy named Willie, who once tugged on her skirt.
She used that same unconditional positive regard.
Exactly, that unreserved warmth. And it dramatically, tangibly changed how men responded to her in social settings. It really underscores the power of putting another person at the absolute center of your attention, even for just a moment.
What to say after you say hi, mastering the art of small talk?
Okay, so we've made that strong, silent first impression. Flooding smile, sticky eyes, confident posture. But now comes the talking part. What happens after hi?
Right, that often dreaded small talk phase. But we have techniques for that too. Let's start with, hello, old friend.
Hello, old friend.
When you meet someone new, just for a second, imagine they are a long-lost old friend. Or maybe a beloved relative or a cherished customer you haven't seen in years.
Okay.
Let that feeling, the joy of rediscovery, fill your face and kind of buoy your body language.
So you're tricking your own reaction.
In a way, yes. This trick bypasses any shyness or negativity you might feel. Your body just naturally reacts with warmth from head to toe without conscious effort. It radiates genuine friendliness and makes the new person feel really special, like they're being welcomed back.
That's clever. It sets a warm tone immediately. Now, you mentioned subconscious signals earlier. How does that play into conversation, especially around honesty?
Yes. This leads to the unspoken truth, credibility and deception. Our bodies are constantly revealing subconscious signals, especially when we're, let's say, not being entirely truthful.
Like fidgeting or avoiding eye contact.
Exactly. Fleeting eye contact, fidgeting, maybe rubbing an arm or the back of the neck. These signals are often completely beyond our conscious control. They're tells, as interrogators might say.
So even if we're not trained experts, we can pick up on these.
You absolutely can. Understanding these tells gives you kind of sixth sense about someone's sincerity. And, just as importantly, it helps you project unwavering credibility yourself by being mindful of your own body language.
Can you give an example?
Sure. A headhunter I know, Helen, she used to test job applicants. She'd ask sensitive questions like why they left their previous job and carefully observe their body language, any fidgeting, eye shifts, rubbing forearms.
Looking for those tells?
Right. Then she'd deliberately change the subject for a bit, chat about something else, and then circle back to the sensitive question later. If those same telltale signs reappeared, she had a pretty good idea they weren't giving her the full story.
Wow, that's like being a human lie detector.
Well, maybe not quite that dramatic, but it definitely gives you an edge in discerning truthfulness. And related to observing reactions, there's Hans's horse sense.
Like clever Hans, the horse that could supposedly do math.
Exactly. The horse wasn't doing math. He was incredibly skilled at reading the subtle, unconscious cues of his human questioners. He could tell when they expected him to stop tapping his hoof.
So how does that apply to us?
It means getting on a dual track while you're talking. Express yourself, yes, but keep a really keen eye on how your listener is reacting. Watch their facial expressions. Are they smiling, scowling, smirking? Monitor their body language. And then plan your next conversational moves accordingly.
So it's constant observation and adaptation.
Precisely. This constant observation helps you pick up on everything, respond intelligently, and adapt your conversation in real time. It makes you seem exceptionally perceptive and engaged. You're not just talking at them, you're talking with them, responding to their nonverbal feedback loop.
That takes practice, I imagine.
It does, but visualization can help prepare you. Which brings us to the next technique. Visualization.
Like athletes use?
Exactly like athletes use. Mentally rehearse your desired social interactions before they happen. See yourself performing perfectly, entering the room confidently, shaking hands firmly, smiling warmly. Hear the sounds of the conversation, feel the positive emotions, visualize your success.
Do this when you're relaxed.
Yes, ideally in a calm, relaxed state. Professional athletes use visualization to achieve peak physical performance. Applying the same principle to communication helps build confidence and actually prepares your brain to manufacture its own antidotes to social fears, like, that common small talkophobia.
Small talkophobia?
Yeah.
That's a real thing, isn't it? Even for successful people.
Oh, absolutely. The fear and just general distaste for small talk is incredibly widespread, even among top executives. It's very similar to stage fright. Sometimes it's rooted in neurochemical differences, but it can definitely be overcome with solid techniques.
So having these practical methods is like the cure.
It really is. Knowing you have tools in your toolbox gives you the confidence to navigate those situations. I even had it as a kid. I had to use a script for a dance invitation and still messed up, inviting the wrong Eugene.
Oh, no.
But he turned out to be this charming guy named Donnie who totally put me at ease. It highlights that even initial awkwardness can lead to positive outcomes if you just push through with the right approach.
That's reassuring. Okay, so back to the techniques.
Yeah.
We need to match the other person's mood first.
Yes. Make a mood match. Before you speak, take that quick voice sample and psychic photograph of your listener. Detect their state of mind, buoyant, bored, maybe blitzed.
And match it.
Match their mood and voice tone, even just for a moment before you try to shift the conversation or inject your own energy.
Why is that so crucial?
It demonstrates empathy. It makes people feel understood on an intuitive level, which makes them much more receptive to your ideas or whatever you want to talk about. It's vital for breaking through and building that initial rapport.
Like your example with the French maitre d'. You came in too hot.
Exactly. My excitement clashed with his languid state. Had I matched his lethargy first? Yes. It is slow tonight, isn't it? Then introduce my party plans? He likely would have been far more cooperative. Meet them where they are first.
Okay, mood matched. What about the actual words? Do they have to be brilliant?
Not at all. That leads us to prosaic with passion. Don't obsess over your first words. Honestly, almost anything is fine.
Really? Like nice weather?
Sure. As long as it's delivered with that empathetic mood match we just talked about, a positive demeanor, and crucially, passionate delivery. Your tone accounts for something like 80% of the listener's impression, not the specific text.
So how you say it matters more than what you say initially.
Vastly more. Using seemingly unoriginal remarks with sincerity actually makes people feel more at ease. It convinces them subconsciously that you are okay, that you're similar to them, and it breaks down those initial walls of fear or uncertainty.
Can you get an example?
There's a great story about Samuel Hayakawa, a brilliant linguistic analyst. During wartime, he had a chance encounter with a couple who were suspicious of him. He deliberately used very common, unoriginal remarks about the war things everyone was saying.
But he delivered them sincerely.
With sincerity and warmth. And because the statements were so common, yet delivered genuinely, the couple, who initially thought he might be a spy, ended up inviting him to dinner. It lowered their defenses.
Amazing. Okay, what if you need a conversation starter? Something to make them approach you?
Then you need a what's it. Technique number 12.
Oh, what's it?
Yeah. Wear or carry something unusual. A unique pin, an interesting purse, a strange tie, maybe an odd piece of jewelry, something that naturally draws attention and prompts people to ask, what's that?
So the item itself becomes the icebreaker.
Exactly. Your what's it serves as a built-in conversation starter. It makes it easy and low risk for others to approach you, initiating dialogue without any awkwardness. I sometimes wear an old-fashioned double monocle lorgnette.
Like for reading.
Yeah, and people often come up and ask, what's it? It leads to conversations about glasses, aging, grandmothers, antique jewelry, all sorts of things. It just opens the door.
Clever. What if you see someone specific you want to meet, but they don't have a what's it and you don't have one?
Then you use technique 13. Who's that?
Who's that?
Okay. If you spot someone interesting across the room at a gathering, find the party giver, the host. Ask them, that man-woman over there looks interesting. Who is Hisha?
And then ask for an introduction.
You can ask for a formal intro, or maybe even better, just pump the host for a few facts about them, their job, interests, hobbies. Then you use those facts as your icebreaker when you approach them yourself.
So the host gives you the intel.
Right. It's surprisingly effective, yet really underused. Hosts are usually pleased you find their guests interesting, and it gives you immediate, relevant conversation points. Say you learn, Joe Smith loves to ski.
Then you approach him.
You walk over and say, hi, you're Joe Smith, aren't you? Susan, the host, was just telling me what a great skier you are. Where do you usually ski? Boom! Conversation started.
Smooth. What if there's no host nearby and no what's it in sight? You just want to join a group conversation.
Technique 14. Eavesdrop in.
Just listen in. Isn't that rude?
It sounds a bit bold, but hear me out. Simply sidle up, kind of casually, behind a group you want to infiltrate. Open your ears, listen for a moment, wait for any flimsy excuse or opening, and then jump in with, excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear.
They might be taken aback, though.
Maybe for a split second, but people generally get over it very quickly, especially at social gatherings. And just like that, you're immediately included in the conversation.
What kind of excuse works?
Anything, really. Excuse me, I couldn't help overhearing your discussion about Bermuda. I'm actually going there next month for the first time. Do you have any suggestions? Simple, relevant, and gets you in.
Okay, I can see that working. Now, those standard small talk questions, like where are you from? How do we handle those better?
Yes. Technique 15, never the naked city.
Never the naked city.
Meaning, when asked where are you from, never give a bare one-word answer like Columbus or Chicago.
Why not?
Because it just kills the conversation. It leaves an awkward silence. Instead, you need to flesh it out. Offer some fascinating, digestible conversational bait, ideally tailored to your listener.
Beep.
Yeah, a little hook. Something interesting they can grab onto. This prevents the silence and instantly shows you're a captivating conversationalist. You become the expert on your city who can inspire discussion.
Give me an example. Let's say Washington, D.C.
Okay, if you're from D.C. and maybe talking to someone interested in art or travel, you could say, Washington, D.C. designed, by the same city planner who designed Paris. Opens up discussion about architecture, Europe.
What if it's a singles party?
Maybe something like, Washington, D.C., the reason I left is there were 7 women to every man when I was growing up. Opens a chat about dating, demographics.
What about Columbus, Ohio? You mentioned that earlier.
Columbus. You could mention its historic German village, the replica of the Santa Maria ship downtown, its 5 universities, or maybe artist George Bellows being from there. Tailor the detail to who you're talking to. Give them something to work with.
Makes sense. Turn the mundane into an opportunity. What about the other inevitable question, and what do you do?
Same principle applies. Technique 16, come out a winner every time they ask, and what do you do? Don't just give a short shrift answer. Don't just state your job title.
It's not just, I'm an accountant.
Right. Again, flesh it out. Give a little story, a detail, or ideally a benefit related to your job that your conversation partner can understand and relate to.
Why is that better?
It prevents the listener from feeling like a nincompoop outsider who has to ask awkward follow-up questions because they have no idea what your title actually means. It makes your profession accessible and engaging.
Example.
Yeah.
Say you're an attorney talking to a young mother at a party.
Instead of just, I'm an attorney, maybe say, our firm specializes in employment law. Actually, right now I'm involved in a case where a company unfortunately discharged a woman for taking extra maternity leave that was a genuine medical necessity.
Okay. Relatable, topical, gives context.
Exactly. It makes it real, not just an abstract title.
Okay, final one for this section. What if the conversation just dies? Like total silence. How do you revive it?
Technique 18. Resuscitate a dying conversation. When it sputters, pick up on your listener's last word or their last concept, no matter how mundane it seems.
Their very last word.
Or the main idea of their last sentence, and then ask a question related to it.
Why does that work?
Because top communicators know ideas don't just pop out of nowhere. If someone mentions a word or concept, it often suggests a subconscious desire or willingness to talk more about it.
So you're tapping into something already on their mind.
Precisely. It allows them to happily chat about what's still lingering, and it saves you from desperately scrambling for a totally new topic. Remember Nancy and Mrs. Otis?
The nursing home patient who mentioned plants after the rain comment.
Yes. Instead of letting it die or changing the subject, Nancy could have simply asked, "Oh, what kind of plants do you have?" Or, "Are they enjoying the rain?" Knowing Mrs. Otis subconsciously wanted to talk about them. Simple, but keeps it flowing.
Talking like a VIP.
All right, let's step it up. How do we move from just handling small talk to actually talking like a VIP, someone with real presence and influence?
Okay, first up, the swiveling spotlight. Technique 19.
Swiveling spotlight.
When you're communicating, especially if you're selling something, an idea, a service, whatever, or even just networking, think of a spotlight. You want to shine it away from yourself. Shine it only lightly on your product or topic. And shine it most brightly, most intensely on the other person, your buyer, your conversational partner.
So focus on them, not you.
Predominantly, yes. Because psychologically, people are most interested in themselves. It's just human nature. By focusing on them, you make them feel special, valued, seen, and that makes you incredibly engaging.
It makes you a winner in the conversation.
Exactly. Rather than someone who just talks about themselves, which tends to push people away. Remember Diane's friend Dan, the popular party guy?
Yeah, she knew nothing about him because he always talked about her.
Perfect example. Sales trainers like Brian Tracy hammer this home. Shine the spotlight on the prospect, always. It fundamentally shifts the dynamic. It becomes about them.
Makes sense. But what if you're focusing on them and you run out of things to say? How do you keep it going smoothly?
Technique 20. Parroting. It's incredibly simple, almost deceptively so, but powerful for avoiding those awkward silences.
Just repeat what they said.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Simply repeat the last few words your conversation partner says. Often, you'll add a slight questioning inflection, but not always.
How does that help?
It neatly puts the conversational ball back in their court. It encourages them to elaborate, to continue their thought, and crucially, it allows you a moment to listen more actively and process what they're saying.
Keeps the flow going without you having to generate something new constantly.
Exactly. And in sales, it's a fantastic way to gently ferret out hidden objections without being confrontational. You just echo their concern.
Like your taxi driver story. Repeating theater, great show.
I kept him talking for an hour. Or Paul, the car salesman, who parroted his way to discovering the client secretly wanted a sporty car, not just a practical one. It gives him space to reveal more.
Very useful. Okay, what about when you're in a group? How can you make someone specific feel important?
Technique 21. Encore.
Encore, like at a concert.
Kind of. When you're with a group, turn to someone important to you, someone you want to connect with or make feel good, and request a repeat performance of a story they've told you before.
You prompt them.
Yeah. Say something like, "Hey, Naeem, tell them about the time or you have to tell everyone that story about."
How does that make them feel?
It makes them feel like a happy dad whose kid wants to hear their favorite story again.
Yeah.
It puts the spotlight squarely on them, validates their story as being interesting and worth repeating, and keeps them happily chatting. Plus, it can give you an opportunity to slip away if you need to.
Huh. Sneaky. Can you give an example?
When I was a cruise director, I struggled to get the shy Italian officers to mingle with passengers. Then there was this dramatic mid-ocean rescue. Huge event.
Wow.
Afterwards, I'd drag the officers over to groups of passengers and prompt them. "Captain Caffiero, why don't you tell these folks about the dramatic midnight rescue you made last week?"
And they'd launch into the story.
They were off and running. Passengers were thrilled. The officers felt like heroes. And frankly, it made my job easier. It gave them a validated platform.
Great strategy. Now, shifting slightly, how do you consistently come across as a positive person, especially early on?
This is technique 22, and it's about discretion. Avoid immediately confessing past mistakes or airing your dirty laundry early in a relationship, whether it's personal or professional.
Even if you think you're being open and honest.
Even then, you might see it as a generous act of vulnerability, But others, especially new acquaintances, might subconsciously perceive it as a warning sign, or maybe a lack of self-control or judgment.
They wonder, what else are they hiding?
Exactly. Or is this person prone to drama? Maintaining a generally positive front early on helps build trust and encourages openness later once a foundation is established. Save the deeper confessions for when there's more rapport.
Okay, that's good advice. What about staying relevant in conversations, not sounding out of touch?
Technique 23. The latest news. Don't leave home without it.
Keep up with current events.
Basically, yes. Before you head out for any social or professional gathering, quickly listen to a newscast or scan the headlines online or in the paper. Just be generally aware of the big deal news of the moment.
Why is that so important?
It provides instant, relevant conversational fodder for almost any crowd. And crucially, it prevents you from putting your foot in your mouth by asking, what's everyone talking about? When there's a major event unfolding. It makes you appear well-informed and engaged with the world.
Any proof this works?
There's the famous example of Sydney Biddle-Barrows, the Mayflower Madam.
Yeah.
She actually instructed her employees, her independent contractors, to keep up with daily news. Why? Because apparently 60% of their work hour was spent just chatting with clients.
Seriously?
Seriously. And she said this rule significantly increased her business because clients consistently complimented her on employing such fascinating, well-informed women. It added value beyond the obvious.
Wow. Okay, back to the standard questions. We talked about how to answer what do you do, but what about asking it? Is there a better way?
Yes. Technique 24. What do you do not? Avoid asking, what do you do, directly.
Why not? It's so common.
It is, but it can be uncomfortable for people. Maybe due to economic changes, unemployment, or maybe they have a sensitive profession they don't want to discuss up front. Or maybe they just feel reduced to their job title.
So what's the alternative?
Ask the 8 magic words. How do you spend most of your time?
How do you spend most of your time?
Exactly. This subtle phrasing shows sensitivity. It signals a more principled, even spiritual interest in the person themselves, not just their job title or potential networking value.
It's less transactional.
Much less. It often throws people off guard, but in a really positive way. It makes them feel you're genuinely interested in them as a person, that you enjoy their company beyond just what they do for a living.
I like that. Okay, now flip it back. When you are asked, what do you do? We said, don't give a one-word answer. What should you do?
Technique 25. How to know what to say when they ask, what do you do? Don't just state your title. Provide a benefit statement or a kind of nutshell resume.
Their benefit statement.
Yeah. Flesh out your job description by briefly explaining how your professional experience or role can actually benefit others, or what kind of problems you solve.
Why is that more effective?
It brings your job to life. It makes it memorable, relatable, and it positions you as a problem solver, someone valuable, rather than just a holder of a title. It works in business and private life. It makes you sound like a potentially fun or useful person to know.
Examples.
Well, Brian Tracy, the sales trainer, apparently opens cold calls by saying something like, would you be interested in a proven method that can increase your sales by 20 to 30% over the next 12 months? That's a benefit statement.
Instantly grabs attention.
Right. Or Gloria, a hairdresser, gets clients by saying she specializes in flexible hairstyles for the busy businesswoman. It highlights the benefit, convenience, and suitability for their lifestyle.
Very clear. Okay, how about sounding, well, smarter, without sounding pretentious?
Technique 26. How to sound even smarter than you are. Enrich your vocabulary consciously. Use slightly more sophisticated, precise synonyms for common words.
But doesn't that risk sounding unnatural?
It can if you overdo it or use words you aren't comfortable with. But the insight here is that the difference between a respected vocabulary and a mundane one is often just about 50 well-chosen words.
Only 50.
Roughly. The key is to practice using these new words until they do feel natural. People with larger vocabularies are consistently perceived as more creative and intelligent. They get hired faster, promoted faster, listened to more.
So instead of just saying great all the time,
try splendid, superb, extraordinary, magnificent, remarkable, or maybe even glorious if the context fits.
What about describing someone's appearance? Men often default to great or pretty.
Right. Try elegant, stunning, or ravishing. Again, use them naturally, but consciously expanding your options adds polish and perceived intelligence.
Good tip. Now, what about when you find common ground with someone? That oh, me too moment.
Ah, yes. Technique 27. Kill the quick me too. Resist that immediate urge to blurt out "me too" the second you discover something in common.
Really? Why hold back? Isn't finding common ground good?
It's great, but the longer you wait to reveal the shared interest, the more moved and impressed the other person will be when you finally do.
How does that work?
It makes you appear more confident, like a confident big cat, not a lonely little stray hungry for quick connection. It shows you are genuinely interested in hearing their experience first, rather than just jumping in with your own. It creates a deeper impact when the connection is revealed more subtly, more thoughtfully.
Can you illustrate that?
Sure. I'm originally from Washington, D.C. I once met someone new who was enthusiastically describing her recent tourist trip there. I genuinely enjoyed hearing her perspective.
And you didn't immediately say you were from there.
Nope. I let her finish her story. Only then did I mention it was my hometown. She exclaimed, "Your hometown? My goodness, why didn't you tell me? I must have been boring you."
And your reply?
I said something like, "Oh, not at all. I was enjoying hearing about your trip so much. I was honestly afraid you'd stop talking if I told you sooner." It really impressed her, much more than an instant "me too" would have.
That's smooth. Okay, technique 28. Communication. What's this about?
It's about the power of the word "you." Start as many sentences as you possibly can with that powerful three-letter word. Phrase things in terms of the other person's benefit or perspective.
Give me an example.
Instead of "I like your suit," which is about my feelings.
See, you look great in that suit. Focus on them.
Exactly. Or asking for time off instead of, "Boss, can I have Friday off?" Or, "Boss, can you do without me on Friday?"
Shifts the focus to their needs.
It shows you're thinking for them, thinking about them. It gains respect and affection. Interestingly, therapists note that people with significant mental health challenges often use "I" and "me" much more frequently.
Yeah.
So, consciously reducing those pronouns makes you seem more balanced and audience-focused.
Fascinating. What about smiling? We talked about the flooding smile, but is there more?
Yes, technique 29. Don't smile at just anybody. Or rather, vary your smile.
Don't give everyone the same smile.
Right, don't flash the same quick generic smile to every single person you interact with. Let each of your smiles subtly reflect the nuances of your actual sentiment about the specific recipient.
So a warmer smile for someone you know well, maybe a more polite one for a brief interaction.
Exactly. It makes your smile seem more genuine, more personal, not just something anyone would automatically receive. It signals that your positive reaction is specifically for them.
Okay. What about language pitfalls? Things to avoid.
Technique 30. Don't touch a cliché with a 10-foot pole. Be on guard, especially when chatting with big winners or important people. Avoid clichés like the plague.
Why are cliches so bad?
Because common clichés brand you as uncommonly common. They can make you sound dumb as a doorknob, frankly. Using fresh original language signals, intelligence, creativity, and care.
So ditch think outside the box, and at the end of the day...
Please, find a more original way to express the same idea.
Got it. How can we make our everyday conversation more engaging, more like a performance?
Technique 31. Josh Smith's Jive. Learn techniques from professional speakers, like motivational speakers, and integrate them consciously into your everyday conversations.
What kind of techniques?
Using varied tones of voice, meaningful gestures, expressive facial expressions, varying your speed, using silence effectively, employing relevant similes or metaphors, even planning a little humor if appropriate.
So add some drama.
Controlled drama? Yes. These elements help you move, amuse, and motivate. Also, try crafting crazy quotables. Memorable, clever, or funny phrases related to your point. They make you notable, and people might even start repeating them.
Examples of quotables.
An executive once broke tension in a tough financial meeting by saying, "Don't worry, this company has enough money to stay in business for years unless we pay our creditors."
Huh. Memorable.
Or Mark Victor Hansen calling his book Chicken Soup for the Soul instead of something bland like 101 Pretty Stories. Much more evocative. But a key warning. Keep your humor and stories relevant to the situation. Unlike my ill-fated attempt at reading serious poetry during a fun Caribbean cruise party, it bombed spectacularly. Know your audience.
Lesson learned. Okay, what about directness? Technique 32, call a spade a spade.
Right. Don't hide behind euphemisms. Use direct, clear language.
Why is directness seen as a VIP trait?
Because big cats, important, confident people, tend to be direct. Little cats, or those less confident, often use euphemisms because they feel insecure or want to sound nicey nice. This actually diminishes your perceived status.
So instead of bathroom tissue...
Big cats say toilet paper. Instead of wealthy, they just say rich. It signals confidence and a lack of pretense.
Okay. What about humor that involves others? Teasing.
Technique 33. Trash the teasing. Absolutely never make a joke at someone else's expense, no matter how innocent or lighthearted it seems.
Even gentle ribbing.
Avoid it. Teasing, even if meant playfully, is often seen as a dead giveaway of a little cat. You might get a cheap laugh in the moment, but it can subtly lead to others constructing a kind of glass ceiling above you, holding you back because they perceive you as potentially unkind or lacking judgment. It's just not worth the risk.
Makes sense. How about delivering bad news? That's always tough.
Technique 34. How to give them the bad news and have them like you all the more. The key is to share the sentiment of the receiver. Show compassion, sympathy. Match their likely emotional response.
Don't be cheerful or indifferent.
Absolutely not. It's often not the bad news itself that makes someone truly angry, but the unsympathetic, inappropriate attitude with which it's delivered. Think of a smiling neighbor telling you the picnic is rained out, or a grinning agent saying your bus just left. It's infuriating.
So match their likely feeling. Sadness, disappointment.
Exactly. A doctor advising serious surgery or a boss having to let someone go should do so with genuine compassion and gravity. By sharing their sentiment, you build rapport and maintain positive regard, even in genuinely difficult situations.
What if someone keeps probing you on a topic you don't want to discuss?
Technique 35. The broken record.
Just repeat yourself.
Precisely. When someone persists in questioning you on an unwelcome subject, simply repeat your original response using the exact same words and the exact same calm tone of voice.
Does that actually work?
It's surprisingly effective. It's the best way to curtail an unwelcome cross-examination. Hearing the exact same response, delivered calmly and without variation, usually signals that the topic is closed and they quiet down.
Example.
Barbara, a businesswoman going through a messy divorce, was at a dinner party. Someone kept pushing her for details. She calmly repeated, "We've separated, but the company's unaffected," in the exact same tone 2 or 3 times. Eventually, the persistent interrogator just gave up.
Effective. Okay, encountering celebrities. How should you act?
Technique 36. Big shots don't slobber. If you run into a celebrity, don't gush or slobber over them. Treat them normally, allow them their anonymity if possible.
Don't ask for a selfie immediately.
Definitely not. VIPs, truly secure people, don't need to fawn over celebrities. If you absolutely must approach, wait until they seem to be leaving or in a non-intrusive moment. Give a brief specific compliment on a recent work you genuinely enjoyed.
If they're at your party.
Do not ask them to perform or do their thing. Just treat them like any other guest. It shows respect for their privacy and profession, and frankly, it makes you seem cooler and more confident.
So a quick, sincere compliment on their work is okay?
Yes. Like if you see Woody Allen leaving a restaurant, maybe just a quick, "Mr. Allen, I just want to tell you how much pleasure your wonderful films have given me over the years. Thank you so much." Brief, specific, respectful.
Got it. Last one for this section, saying thank you. Seems simple, but is there a technique?
Technique 37. Never the naked thank you.
Naked thank you.
Meaning, never let the phrase thank you stand alone. Always follow it immediately with "for" and the specific reason.
Like, thank you for coming, or thank you for your help.
Exactly. Thank you for asking. Thank you for being so understanding. Thank you for waiting.
Why add the for?
Because people use the bare thank you so often, it almost becomes unconscious background noise. Dressing it up, making it specific, makes it more heard, more genuine. It shows deeper appreciation, which subtly encourages others to continue doing nice things for you. I make it a habit to say, "Thanks for getting us here safely," to airplane captains as I deplane.
What do they say?
Often they seem genuinely pleased and reply enthusiastically, "Oh, thanks for flying with us." It makes the acknowledgement feel more real.
Talking knowledgeably.
Okay, let's shift gears. How can we talk knowledgeably about subjects we might not actually know much about? Sounds impossible.
Not impossible, just requires some strategy. Technique 38 is scramble therapy.
Scramble therapy, what does that involve?
Once a month, deliberately scramble your life. Do something completely out of your norm. Participate in a new sport, attend an exhibition on an unfamiliar topic, go to a lecture on something you know zero about.
Just dip your toe into something new.
Exactly. And here's the amazing part. A single exposure, even just a few hours, gives you about 80% of the conversational value for that activity.
80%. Right.
Yeah. You quickly learn some basic insider lingo. You figure out the right kinds of questions to ask. It ensures you're never totally at a loss when that subject comes up.
Like your scuba diving example.
Right. I did a $25 resort dive in Bermuda, zero experience. In 3 hours, I learned terms like BCD, regulator, nitrogen narcosis, and questions like, what was the visibility like? Enough to hold a basic conversation with actual scuba divers anywhere. It's a quick way to broaden your conversational toolkit.
That's a cool idea. What if you know you'll be meeting people from a specific profession?
Technique 39. Bearing their hot button.
Finding out what they care about.
Specifically, finding out the current burning issues or hot buttons within their field. Before you meet people in a specific profession or with a niche interest, call an acquaintance you have in that field if possible. Ask them, hey, what are the big challenges or exciting developments happening right now in their field?
So you get insider info beforehand.
Precisely. This prepares you for hot conversation with actual insiders. You'll know what questions to ask that go beyond superficial pleasantries. You can engage on topics they genuinely care about.
Can you illustrate?
Sure. John's wife, Yameka, who was Japanese, needed to charm his doctor colleagues at a dinner. Beforehand, she learned that key issues were their specific specialty, their hospital affiliations, and how the current medical environment, like insurance changes, was affecting their practice.
So she asked about those things.
Exactly. She went beyond just asking, how's work? She asked about these specific hot issues, which immediately signaled she understood their world and led to much deeper, more engaging conversations. They were impressed.
That takes some prep work, but sounds effective. What about broadening knowledge more generally?
Technique 41. Read their rags. Diversify your reading habits way beyond your usual stuff.
Not just my section of the news or my industry journal?
Right. Start by scanning different sections of the newspaper you normally skip. Then maybe look at trade journals for industries you interact with, or even industries you know nothing about. And finally, try dipping into special interest hobby magazines.
Why read, say, a fishing magazine if I don't fish?
Because it familiarizes you with other worlds and their unique lingo. It equips you to discuss almost anything with anybody, no matter how little you seem to have in common initially. You learn the insider terms that separate the knowledgeable from the landlubber, so to speak.
Like knowing advertisers say copy, not words.
Exactly, or call their agency the shop. I mentioned reading Flower and Garden magazine once. Later, talking to a client with a garden using terms like ornamentals and perennials naturally create a connection that led to business. Even reading Hogs Today could be useful if your next big client raises pigs. You learn to speak their language.
Okay, commitment to broad knowledge. What about international interactions? That seems fraught with potential pitfalls.
Hugely fraught. Technique 42 is clear customs. Before traveling abroad, especially for business, you must research the country's customs, their specific do's and don'ts, their taboos.
Beyond just learning hello and thank you.
Way beyond. Understand protocols for handshakes, gift-giving customs, personal space norms, how to address people correctly, specific body language to use or avoid.
Why is this so critical?
Because even a small gaffe in international etiquette can completely gum up your entire gig. It can severely damage business deals or personal relationships. Being culturally aware is essential to avoid being perceived as the ugly American or just clueless.
Have you seen this go wrong?
Oh, yes. A speaker I know, Geraldine, made several critical mistakes on her first trip to Japan. She wore jeans to a formal meeting, mishandled business cards, didn't use both hands, glanced briefly, put one in her back pocket.
Oh, dear.
Wrote on someone's card, opened a gift immediately instead of waiting, squealed with delight, which is considered impolite there, even hugged someone. These seemingly small gaffes cost her potential business because they signaled a lack of respect and understanding. Cultural awareness is non-negotiable internationally.
Yikes. Good warning. Okay, back to more local interactions. Can knowing specific lingo help you get better deals?
Absolutely. Technique 43. Bluffing for bargains.
Bluffing. Sounds slightly deceptive.
It's not really deceptive. It's about demonstrating knowledge.
Uh-huh.
Before making a big purchase, a car, a diamond, maybe hiring a contractor, visit several vendors first. Your goal in these initial visits is to learn the industry lingo and common practices. Listen carefully.
Then go to your preferred vendor armed with this knowledge.
Exactly. When you confidently speak their lingo, vendors immediately recognize you're not a novice, not a babe in the woods. They'll be much more inclined to give you their better insider's price, because they know they won't have to spend ages answering endless streams of novice questions. You've shown you understand the basics, you respect their time, and you know what you're talking about. It saves them hassle, and it can save you money.
Like knowing diamond terms. Table, girdle, inclusions.
Precisely. Using terms like stones instead of diamonds, or asking about inclusions, or Glet's flaws, or mentioning the cutlet bottom point signals you've done your homework, or telling a painter you expect no cutting in and no holidays. It shows you the standards and potentially lowers the quote. Knowledge is leverage.
Sounding more profound.
Okay, we've talked about sounding knowledgeable. How do we take it a step further and sound genuinely profound? Connect on a deeper level.
Right, moving beyond just facts and lingo. Technique 44 addresses a subtle layer. Make them feel you're of the same class.
Class, like socioeconomic class.
Not just that, though it can play a role. It's more about background, upbringing, general style. People from different backgrounds often move differently, speak with different rhythms, use different types of gestures. The core idea is to subtly sync your movements, your speech patterns, even your perceived class or style, with theirs to build rapport.
So mirror them subtly.
Very subtly, yes. When you move and speak in a way that resonates with their ingrained patterns, it creates a deeper, almost subconscious understanding and empathy. It can open doors that might otherwise remain closed.
Can you give an example?
There was a seminar leader, Jeannie, who taught how to marry the rich. She claimed she could identify the wealthiest man in a Las Vegas casino, not by his expensive suit necessarily, but by his old money movements, how he carried himself, his gestures, which were distinctly different from new money or no money movements.
Wow. That's subtle observation.
Extremely subtle. But it highlights that these ingrained physical patterns exist and can be perceived, and mirroring them subtly can create a powerful sense of shared identity.
Okay, what about language specifically? How can words create that deeper connection?
Technique 45, echoing. This is deceptively simple, but incredibly powerful.
We talked about parroting last words. Is this different?
It's related but deeper. Echoing involves listening with extreme care to the speaker's specific, often arbitrary choice of nouns, verbs, prepositions, adjectives, their unique vocabulary fingerprint. And then you consciously echo those exact words and phrases back in your own responses.
So using their specific words, not just similar ones.
Precisely. Hearing their own carefully chosen words come out of your mouth creates this powerful subliminal rapport. It makes them feel you not only understand them, but you share their values, attitudes, interests, experiences. It fosters a sense of being family or on the exact same wavelength.
Examples.
If a client calls their workplace a firm, you use firm. If another calls it an office, you use office. That salesperson selling office furniture learned to adapt her language, calling it an advertising agency, publishing house, firm, or station, depending entirely on the client's own term.
Or the chalet versus cabin example.
Exactly. Calling her beloved chalet a cabin instantly broke the connection because it disrespected her chosen word, her perception. Pharmacists preferring pharmacy over drugstore is another one. Respecting and mirroring their terminology builds that deep, unspoken bond.
Okay, makes sense. How about explaining complex ideas clearly, making your points resonate?
Technique 46. How to really make it clear to them. Effective communication often involves using analogies, but the key is to use analogies that resonate with your listeners' interests and lifestyle, not just your own.
Tailor the analogy to them.
Yes, analogies bring situations to life, give your points more power and punch. But using analogies drawn from your listener's world, what the technique calls potent imaging, does something extra. It signals that you think like them, that you understand their world, and it subtly hints that you might even share their interests.
So if they're a baseball fan,
Use baseball analogies. Talk about being caught on the fly or hitting the dirt or home run ideal.
if they're a bowler,
Mention gutter balls or big splits. If they love basketball, use hook shot or air ball. It makes the concept instantly more relatable and shows you're tuning into their frame of reference. Just be mindful. Maybe avoid heavily gender-specific analogies like complex football plays if you're not sure your listener follows the sport.
good point. How do we show empathy effectively? Beyond just nodding or saying, uh-huh.
Technique 47. How to make them feel you empathize without just saying, yep, uh-huh, yeah. Replace those generic vocalizations, the hus and ums, with full-blown empathizers.
Full-blown empathizers, what are those?
Short, complete supportive statements that validate their feeling or experience.
Why is that better than just, uh-huh?
It makes you sound much more articulate, more present. And it truly convinces your listener that you genuinely understand or are processing what they're saying, not just passively listening.
So instead of, huh, you'd say,
Something like, I can appreciate you decided to do that. Or, that really is exciting. Or, yes, that was definitely the honorable thing to do. Or even just, wow, I can see why you'd feel that way. Complete thoughts that reflect understanding.
that does sound more engaged. Can we refine empathy even further?
Yes. Technique 48 builds on this. Anatomically correct empathizers.
Anatomically correct.
It means paying super close attention to the sensory language your conversation partner is using in that moment. Are they talking in visual terms? I see, it looks like. Auditory terms? Sounds good. I hear you. Or kinesthetic terms? I feel, get a handle on.
And you match their sensory mode.
Exactly. You respond with empathizers that use the same sensory channel they're using.
Yeah.
This makes them subconsciously feel that you literally see it, hear it, or feel it just the way they do. It fosters an incredibly deep connection.
Examples.
If a colleague says, with this plan, we can see our way clear, you respond with a visual empathizer. I see what you mean, or you really have a clear picture of that.
If they say it has a good ring to it.
Auditory response. It does sound great, or I hear you on that.
If they have a gut feeling.
Kinesthetic response. I can understand how you feel, or you have a good grasp of that problem. You're meeting them in their sensory reality. It's powerful stuff.
Very subtle, very powerful. Okay, last one in this section. The premature WE. Technique 49. This sounds intriguing.
It is. It's designed to create immediate intimacy, a sense of togetherness, by intentionally scrambling the signals in someone's psyche.
How do you scramble signals?
You skip the usual superficial conversational levels, the cliches, the mere facts, and you jump straight to using collective pronouns. We, us, our, prematurely, almost right away.
Even with someone you just met.
Especially then. It fosters togetherness, makes the listener feel instantly connected, and subtly hints that you're already friends or somehow linked, even if you just met moments ago. It creates this subconscious you and me against the cold, cold world feeling.
Give me an example. At that buffet line again.
Perfect. Instead of just, looks good, you turn to the stranger and say, hey, this looks great. They really laid out a nice spread for us. Or maybe, uh-oh, we're going to get fat if we let ourselves enjoy all of this.
Instantly creates a shared experience.
Right. Or talking to a new prospect. Do you think we're going to prosper during his administration? It implies a shared journey, shared concerns, shared fate. It's a shortcut to building rapport by implying an existing connection.
The power of praise versus the folly of flattery.
Okay, let's tackle praise. It's important, but easy to get wrong, right? It can come across as insincere flattery.
Exactly. It's a delicate art. Technique 51 offers a clever approach. Grapevine glory.
Grapevine glory, so don't praise them directly.
Precisely. When you genuinely want to compliment someone, instead of telling them face-to-face, strategically tell someone who is close to them, someone you know will likely pass it on.
Why is indirect praise better?
Because a compliment that's overheard or passed along by a trusted third party feels infinitely more exciting and far more trustworthy than direct flattery. Direct praise can sometimes feel like brown-nosing or manipulation.
But hearing it from someone else feels more authentic.
Absolutely. It leaves the recipient with that delightful fantasy that you're not just telling them, you're telling the whole world how great they are. So if you want to impress Jane Smith...
Don't tell Jane directly. Tell his close associate. You know, Jane is just so dynamic. She said something incredibly brilliant in that meeting yesterday. Honestly, someday she'll be running this company. Trust me, it will get back to Jane, probably very quickly, and it will mean more.
That's smart psychology. What about being the one who delivers the praise you hear?
Ah, that's technique 52. Carry your pigeon kudos. Become a known carrier of good news. Whenever you hear something complimentary about someone, make a point to go directly to them and deliver the compliment.
Be the messenger of good vibes. Exactly. Everyone loves being the recipient of kind thoughts, even secondhand. It makes you a source of positive feelings, reinforces good relationships, and people appreciate you for sharing the good news.
So if my friend Ned gets a good review,
fax it to him or email it. If your client Sally, the sculptor, has her work admired in someone's home, send her a quick note mentioning it. Be the conduit for positivity.
Nice. How about making praise feel less deliberate, more natural?
Technique 54. Accidental adulation.
Accidental. How do you praise someone accidentally?
You slip the praise into a secondary part of your point, make it seem like it just slipped out, almost like it's in verbal parentheses, not the main focus of your sentence.
So it lands subtly.
Incredibly subtly, which makes it feel incredibly genuine and warm to the recipient. It gives them this little joyful jolt.
Example.
Tell your fit 65-year-old uncle anyone as fit as you would have zipped right up those steps, but boy, was I out of breath. The main point is your breathlessness. The praise for his fitness is secondary, almost accidental.
Or to a colleague.
Because you're so knowledgeable in contract law, you would have read between the lines, but stupidly, I signed it. The focus is your mistake, but the compliment about their knowledge lands powerfully because it feels like an uncontrived observation. Just be aware that joyful jolt might make them temporarily deaf to the rest of your point.
Good warning. Okay, what about a really impactful, memorable compliment for someone important you've just met?
That's technique 55, the killer compliment. This is reserved for a stranger or new acquaintance you genuinely want to make part of your future professionally or personally.
What's the process?
First, identify one truly attractive, highly specific, and unique quality they possess, something you genuinely admire. Then, at the very end of your conversation, as you're parting ways, look them directly in the eye, say their name clearly, and deliver this targeted killer compliment.
Why is this so powerful?
Because this personalized, specific praise can genuinely kickstart commerce, ignite a friendship, or even spark a love affair. It shows you didn't just have a generic conversation, you truly saw them, noticed something unique and valuable about them.
Are there rules for this one?
Yes, crucial ones. 1, deliver it privately, one-on-one, so others don't feel compared or left out. 2, make it absolutely credible, don't praise their singing if they're tone deaf. 3, confer only one killer compliment per recipient roughly every 6 months or so. Overuse kills its power and makes you seem insincere. Use it like a laser, not a floodlight.
Got it. Precision praise. What about everyday small acknowledgments?
Technique 56, little strokes. These are the short, quick kudos you drop into casual conversation for colleagues, friends, loved ones, acknowledging their everyday achievements or qualities.
Like small pats on the back.
Exactly, like a parent consistently reinforcing good behavior. These itty-bitty boosters make people feel appreciated, noticed, valued for the small things. They foster positive, supportive relationships. Just simple things. Nice job finishing that report, John. Well done on that presentation, Kyoto. Hey, not bad, Billy. For spouse, wow, you're the best cook. Or, gee, Annie, you look great today. For kids, hey, gang, great job cleaning up. Consistent, small affirmations.
And timing matters here too, right?
Critically, technique 57, praise with perfect timing. Immediately praise an accomplishment, no matter how trivial or triumphant. Do it right then and there, not minutes or hours later.
Why the immediacy?
Because the moment someone achieves something, especially something they might feel insecure about, they desperately crave that immediate validation. Wow, you did it! Delaying the praise just drains its emotional impact. In those moments, sensitivity to the performer's potentially fragile ego often takes precedence over, say, nuanced critique.
Like your story about giving your first speech and wanting immediate feedback.
Exactly. My friend commented on the dessert, and all I wanted was any acknowledgement of the speech itself, good or bad, just right then. It highlights the importance of that immediate praise, even if it feels like a slight white lie sometimes, when someone is vulnerable after a performance.
Okay. How should we receive compliments? Many people get awkward.
So true. Technique 58, boomeranging. Americans especially can be bad at this. When someone compliments you, don't just deflect or minimize it. Let the good feelings boomerang back to the giver.
How do you boomerang a compliment?
Express genuine appreciation for their kindness in your own words. Say something like, "That's so kind of you to say," and then find a way to compliment them for their compliment or for their observation skills.
So someone compliments your hair.
Don't just say thanks or, "Oh, this old thing." Instead, try, "Wow, thank you, you're so sweet to notice. I love how observant you are." It accepts the praise gracefully while turning the positive energy back to them.
That avoids the awkwardness.
Yeah.
Nice. Final praise technique. The tombstone game. Sounds morbid.
It sounds it, but it's incredibly profound. Technique 59. For the truly important people in your life, lead ones, key business partners, find a quiet, reflective moment. Ask them, if you could have one quality inscribed on your tombstone, what would it be? What's their deepest source of pride about themselves?
Find out what they value most in themselves.
Exactly. Remember their answer. Then later, when you genuinely want to express deep appreciation or love, use those exact words to fill in the blank. I love you because you are, or I truly admire that you are.
using their own self-defined core quality.
Precisely. This takes people's breath away. It feeds their deepest self-image like nothing else. They feel truly seen, understood, and loved for who they believe they really are at their core. It creates an incredibly powerful, almost overpowering bond.
So if Jane's answer was spreading joy wherever she goes,
You tell her sincerely, Jane, I love you because you spread joy wherever you go. If Harry's was living life his way, you say, Harry, I truly admire that you live life your way. These compliments are not interchangeable. They must be tailored to their specific individual pride. It's the ultimate personalized praise.
direct dialing their hearts, mastering phone communication.
Okay, let's switch to the phone. It's such a different communication channel, right? No visual.
Completely different. And that lack of visual cues is critical. Technique 60, talking gestures.
Talking gestures. How do you gesture on the phone?
You have to translate them into sound. Consciously turn your smiles into audible warmth, your nods of agreement into discernible noises, and all your body gestures into something your listener can clearly hear.
So exaggerate your vocal energy.
Significantly. Studies show people lose about 30% of their vocal energy and expressiveness over the phone. You have to consciously compensate for that loss.
Why is that compensation so vital?
Because your body language and facial expressions, which convey more than half your personality and message, are totally unseen. If you don't compensate vocally, your full, engaging personality doesn't come across. You risk sounding snippy, brusque, or just plain flat, even if you don't mean to.
Like your travel agent, Ronnie. Snippy on the phone, lovely in person.
Exactly. Her pleasant body language just didn't make it through the wires. It underscores the need for that intentional, exaggerated vocal energy, more pitch variation, more warmth, more enthusiasm to truly convey your personality on calls.
Got it. Pump up the vocal volume and energy. What else helps on the phone?
Technique 61, name shower. Use your caller's name more often on the phone than you would in person.
More often, doesn't that sound unnatural or pandering?
It can in person if overdone, yes. But on the phone, because of the physical distance and lack of visual connection, strategically showering the conversation with the caller's name helps recreate the intimacy of eye contact or a physical touch.
It keeps their attention, makes them feel seen even though they aren't.
Precisely. It keeps them engaged and makes them feel special. In person, constant name repetition can feel artificial. But on the phone, it's often a necessary tool to compensate for the missing visual cues and maintain connection. Use it judiciously, but more frequently than face-to-face.
Okay. What about screening calls? Everyone hates feeling screened.
Right. Technique 63, the sneaky screen. If you absolutely must screen calls, instruct your staff, or yourself if you answer, to do it cleverly. Answer cheerfully. Oh, yes, I'll put you right through. May I tell him who's calling? Or, if the caller has already identified themselves, oh, of course, Mr. Biz, who's it? Let me put you right through. Sound helpful and immediate.
Even if you know the person isn't available.
Yes. Then, after a brief pause, come back and say something like, oh, I'm so sorry, it appears she just stepped away from the desk or is on another call right now. This polite, seemingly helpful approach prevents callers from feeling personally rejected or screened. They fall for it every time because the initial response was so positive.
Like your experience calling Steve Efros. His assistant sounded eager to connect you.
Exactly. She said, oh, yes, Miss Allowance, definitely. Let me put you right through. When she came back moments later saying he'd just stepped out, I didn't feel screened at all because her initial reaction was so welcoming. It works.
Clever. How about getting through to important people? Dealing with those gatekeepers.
Crucial. Technique 64. How to get what you want on the phone from big shots. This fundamentally recognizes the immense influence of those gatekeepers. Assistants, secretaries, spouses.
They hold the keys to the kingdom.
You really do. You have to remember they have names, lives, feelings, and significant power in controlling access and information flow. They are not obstacles, they are people.
So, treat them with respect.
Genuine respect. Acknowledge their personhood. Engage with them. By doing so, you gain an invaluable ally who can actively influence decisions about whether your calls get through, whether your proposals get seen, whether you get that appointment.
Like the story of the hotel owner and the fundraiser.
Perfect example. Mr. Big Cat, the owner, was almost swayed against a charity simply because the fundraiser, Mr. Creighton, repeatedly annoyed Mrs. Big Cat, Sylvia, by ignoring her on the phone, never greeting her, never asking how she was, never apologizing for calling during dinner.
And her negative opinion influenced her husband.
Directly impacted his potential contribution. It powerfully shows how vital treating gatekeepers with respect truly is. Their opinion matters.
Point taken. What about our outgoing message, the voicemail greeting?
Technique 66, your 10-second audition. That outgoing message is far more than just functional. It's a reflection of you, your business, your personality.
So make it good. How?
The advice is to change it daily.
Daily? Wow.
It gives the strong impression you're organized, on top of things, current. Keep it short, friendly, professional, neutral in tone, and up to date. Mention where you are and when you'll be back, if that's appropriate.
Why does a daily update matter so much?
Callers subconsciously perceive people as brighter and more efficient when they hear a current, updated message. It also manages expectations for callbacks. And beyond efficiency, infuse a little personality. Pique their curiosity, make them smile. It really is a 10-second audition that can encourage a quicker callback.
So not just, I'm away from my desk or on the other line.
No, that sounds canned and often untrue. Better. Hi, this is Name. It's Thursday, May 7th, and I'm in meetings all morning. Please leave a message and I'll return your call this afternoon. Specific, current, professional.
Makes sense. What about a trick for getting past the gatekeeper when you call?
Technique 68, the ho-hum caper.
Ho-hum caper.
Instead of formally asking for your party by name, like, may I please speak to Ms. Big Shy, try casually letting the pronoun he or she roll off your tongue. Like, hi, your name calling, is she in? Or just, hi, secretary's name, your name here, is he available?
Why does that work?
It verbally sprints past the secretary with this attitude of business as usual, like, ho-hum, I call this person every day. It signals that you and the boss are familiar, maybe old buddies. It creates an immediate, subtle sense of familiarity and access, making the gatekeeper slightly more likely to just put you through without grilling you.
Like you sneaking into coffee shop restrooms by acting like you belong?
Exactly. Confidence and assumed familiarity, applied to phone calls, casually asking, is she in, implies you have a right to be asking, increasing your chances. Use with confidence.
Okay, last phone tip. What about background noise on their end? Dogs, babies?
Technique 69. How to warm their hearts by acknowledging background noises. When you hear those noises, dogs barking, babies crying, loud construction, even bad static, acknowledge them.
Don't just ignore it.
No, acknowledge it gently. Ask if they need a moment to attend to it.
Why do that?
It shows you are listening attentively, not just focused on your own agenda. It shows empathy for their situation. It instantly warms the hearts of your listeners because you're prioritizing their reality for a moment.
Yeah.
It shifts the focus to their well-being, which builds significant rapport. Asking, do you need to grab that? When a dog barks, shows you care about their environment.
Working a room, like a politician works a room.
Okay, let's move to social gatherings, parties, networking events. How do we navigate these like a pro, like a politician work in the room?
First things first, technique 71, munching or mingling. Decide your priority. If your main goal at the event is to mingle, connect, network, then eat before you arrive.
Don't try to juggle food and conversation.
Exactly. Holding a plate of food or even just a drink creates a subtle physical brick wall between you and others. It makes it physically awkward to shake hands firmly, exchange business cards easily, or engage fully belly to belly. Politicians instinctively know this. They need to be eyeball to eyeball and belly to belly with their constituents, unencumbered.
So choose. Eat or network. Got it. What about the entrance?
Technique 72. Rubberneck the room. When you arrive at any gathering, don't just blend in immediately. Stop, dramatically if you like, right in the doorway or just inside.
Pause and survey.
Slowly survey the entire scene. Take it all in with your eyes, the lighting, the layout, the bar, the faces, the music, the overall energy or buzz of the crowd.
Why the dramatic pause?
It projects stage presence. It makes you look confident and observant. But more importantly, it allows you to actually diagnose the situation before you plunge in. It gives you a strategic advantage. You can see who's there, identify potential groups, choose who you might want to approach first. It helps you make an unforgettable, deliberate entrance rather than just drifting in.
And while you're rubbernecking.
Technique 73 kicks in. Be the chooser, not the choosy.
Take control.
Yes. Don't just passively stand there hoping someone interesting talks to you. While you're scanning the room, actively, intentionally choose the people you most want to talk to. Who looks interesting? Who might you enjoy meeting? Who could benefit your life or career? Who could you learn from?
Be proactive about your interactions.
Absolutely. This empowers you to shape your experience. It ensures you spend your valuable time with people who genuinely interest you, rather than just whoever happens to wander over. It transforms every party from a random event into a potential rehearsal for the big event, meeting someone truly life-changing.
And how do you approach them?
That direct line often works. Hi, I'm your name. I was looking around the room and I really wanted to come over and talk to you. It's confident and flattering.
Okay, you've made your entrance, chosen your target. How do you make yourself look approachable while standing there?
Technique 74. Come hither hands. Pay attention to your body language, especially your arms and hands. Arrange your body in an open, welcoming position.
No crossed arms.
Definitely no crossed arms. And specifically, turn your wrists and palms slightly upward, making the palms somewhat visible. This is the come hither position.
Why palms up?
Open palms subconsciously signal I have nothing to hide, I accept you, or even in a romantic context, I find you intriguing. People instinctively gravitate towards open, vulnerable gestures and tend to shy away from closed-off positions, like hand clasped or knuckles showing, which can read as, get lost or I'll punch you. Open palms invite approach.
Subtle, but makes sense. How do you make connections last beyond the event? Remembering details.
Crucial for building relationships. Technique 75. Tracking.
Tracking. Like a hunter.
Sort of. Like an air traffic controller meticulously tracking flights. You meticulously track the tiniest details of your conversation partners' lives, their last mentioned concern, their recent enthusiasm, an event they discussed.
And then bring it up later.
Yes. Refer to these specific details in your next communication, a follow-up email, a phone call, as if it were a major news story you remembered.
Why is that so powerful?
Because it creates this incredible sense of intimacy. It confirms their deep, often unspoken conviction that they are an old-style hero around whom the world revolves. It makes them feel like a movie star whose minor life events are actually major concerns to you.
Politicians are good at this, right?
Masters of it. Remembering things like, how was your trip to Jamaica? Or, hey, did your daughter make the softball team? Even better is remembering anniversaries of personal achievements, a promotion date, the anniversary of their company going public. That's often more impactful than just a birthday card because it shows you remember their successes.
That takes effort. How do you keep track of all those details?
Technique 76, the business card dossier.
Write notes on their business card.
Immediately after talking to someone significant at an event, discreetly take out your pen. On the back of their business card, or maybe in a small, dedicated notebook or phone app, jot down concise notes, reminders of your conversation, their favorite restaurant, a sport they follow, a movie they recommended, a specific joke they told, their kid's name.
So you have a record.
Exactly. This allows you to later amaze them with what you remember about them. Referring back to these specific personal details creates that special kinship, makes you incredibly memorable. It can sway votes, build strong business ties, cement friendships.
Like Joe, the aspiring senator, remembering your favorite wine.
Sincere. Months later, he mentioned it in a postcard. It was a small detail, but it instantly won my loyalty because it showed he had truly listened and remembered. It's powerful.
Okay, last one for working a room. How do we read the room or read individuals in real time?
Technique 77. Eyeball selling. This isn't just for sales, it's for all interactions. Set the hidden cameras behind your eyeballs to constantly pick up on your conversation partner's nonverbal signals.
What kind of signals?
Fidgets, head movements, is their head cocked slightly? That usually means interested. Are they starting to turn away? That's bad. Hand gestures, are their arms crossed? That's a barrier. Even subtle eye fluctuations, watch everything.
And adjust accordingly.
Constantly. Plan your pitch or conversation and pace it based on these signals. The human body is like a 24-hour broadcasting station, constantly sending out subconscious messages. Understanding these cues allows you to adapt in real time. Maybe you need to change the subject, find a way to break down that crossed arm barrier, or know when it's time to wrap it up, or cut quickly to the close.
Any tricks for breaking down barriers?
A salesman I know, Jimmy, watches for signals like a prospect reaching for an object that often means they're thinking, or their head bobbing like a plastic duck that can mean silent agreement. Yes, keep going. He even carries props, like photos or an antique watch, to give people something to handle, which often encourages them to unfold their arms.
Even in social settings.
Absolutely. If you notice your listener's attention drifting, their body turning away, don't just drone on. Ask a direct personal question about their favorite topic, something you know they're passionate about. It pulls their focus right back to you. It's about constant observation and adaptation.
Breaking the most treacherous glass ceiling.
We've covered so many techniques. But you mentioned something earlier, an invisible glass ceiling in social and professional interactions. What is that?
Right. Beyond the formal barriers we often discuss, there's this more subtle, more treacherous glass ceiling. It's made of unspoken communication rules, social sensitivities, minor behavioral patterns that can keep highly capable individuals from advancing.
And it's invisible.
Often invisible to the person bumping up against it. That's the treacherous part. Understanding these subtle social disabilities or verbal deficiencies in yourself, things you might be completely blind to, is absolutely crucial. If you don't, you risk unintentionally sabotaging relationships and opportunities without ever knowing why.
So it's about the unwritten rules.
Exactly. The implicit rules of engagement that highly successful, influential people tend to follow instinctively. Violate them, even unknowingly, and doors might close, opportunities might vanish, relationships might cool, and you're left wondering what happened.
Okay, so what's one of these crucial unwritten rules?
Technique 78. How to win their affection by overlooking their bloopers. This is about your reaction when someone makes a minor social blunder. They drop something, sneeze loudly, spill coffee, mispronounce a word.
What should you do or not do?
Be completely blind and deaf to it.
Ro-
Do not acknowledge it. No whoops, no gesundheit, no knowing smile, no gesture to help unless it's truly necessary. Just carry on as if absolutely nothing happened.
Why ignore it? Isn't it polite to acknowledge?
Counterintuitively, no. No one enjoys being reminded of their minor human frailties or mistakes. Big winners, people with real composure, remain stoic. They don't miss a beat. This shows your strength and unflappability, and crucially, it makes others feel much more comfortable around you. They know their small slip-ups won't be magnified.
Like the business lunch where the CFO spilled coffee?
Exactly. The truly big players at the table didn't react at all. They continued their conversation seamlessly. That stoicism demonstrated their composure and, subtly, their respect for the CFO by not drawing attention to the minor mishap. It puts everyone at ease.
That requires real self-control. Okay, what about hidden agendas? How does transparency play in?
Hugely important. Technique 80. Bear the buried YM and YFA.
YFM. What's in it for me?
And YFA. What's in it for you, meaning them. When you suggest a meeting, propose something, ask for a favor, you need to be transparent. Openly reveal what your motivation is, YIFM, and what the benefit is for them, YFA, even if, frankly, the benefit for them is zero right now.
Why be so upfront, especially if there's little in it for them?
Because if you have a hidden agenda that comes out later, you will be labeled as manipulative, a sly fox, and you will lose trust permanently. Being a straight shooter, being upfront about your intentions, makes people far more willing to help or engage, even if there's no immediate payoff for them. They appreciate the honesty.
Like the marketing guy who ambushed you for free work at lunch.
Exactly. Sam invited me to a consultation, but secretly gathered his committee to ask for free presentations. His hidden YIFM completely destroyed my willingness to help him then or in the future. Or my friend Stefan, who was vague about needing help finding a band until he finally admitted it was his responsibility. Once he was transparent, I was happy to help. Honesty upfront builds trust.
Makes sense. What about the etiquette of favors? Doing them and asking for them.
Okay, two related techniques here.
Yeah, do one.
How to make them want to do favors for you, which is about receiving favors gracefully. And 82, how to ask for favors and get them.
Let's start with receiving. Someone does you a favor.
Resist the urge to immediately try and cash in on the return favor, or to make it seem like an immediate quid pro quo.
Don't rush to pay them back.
Not necessarily in a tit-for-tat way. Allow the other person the pleasurable myth that you joyfully did the favor out of pure generosity, with no expectation of immediate return. Insisting on instant tit-for-tat can actually tarnish the feeling of generosity and make the interaction feel transactional. Let them feel good about having helped you.
So don't be like Harry, the brother-in-law, who immediately called his cousin Sonny after you agreed to see him.
Exactly. Harry's immediate hot-breathed follow-up made Sonny's eventual call feel over-anxious and diminished the value of the favor I'd done for Harry. Or my friend Tanya, who helped me contact celebrities, then almost immediately called wanting free lodging months later. While I agreed, her haste to cash in definitely tarnished the initial generous feeling. Let the goodwill breathe.
Okay, and when asking for a favor?
Let them know, sincerely, how much it truly means to you. Don't downplay its importance,
Why emphasize how much you need it?
because it makes them feel good about helping. Often, the genuine joy of helping someone who truly appreciates it is the reward. Expressing the significance of the favor validates their effort and makes them feel valued for their contribution.
So be gracious when receiving and emphasize importance when asking.
Got it. What about specific social settings? Are there unspoken rules for parties or dinners?
Absolutely. Technique 83. Parties are for Prater. Parties are considered one of 3 sacred safe havens in the human jungle,
Sacred safe havens.
meaning they're primarily for pleasantries, light conversation, and good fellowship. They are not the place for confrontations, serious negotiations, or bringing up difficult business talk.
Keep it light at parties.
Yes, even tough tigers know to smile and nod politely at their rivals across a buffet table. Serious discussions belong in more appropriate settings. Engaging in conflict or heavy business at a party marks you as lacking social awareness, a little cat.
Okay, what's the second safe haven?
Technique 84. Dinners for dining. The dining table is considered an even more sacred safe haven.
Stricter rules for dinner.
Yes. While eating together, especially in a business context, the convention is to only discuss the positive side of business dreams, desires, brainstorming, shared goals. Relegate any disagreements, misunderstandings, controversial points, or tough negotiations to the conference table after the meal is finished.
Why the separation?
It prevents indigestion, literally and figuratively. It ensures a pleasant, convivial atmosphere during the meal. Big players silently judge how others handle themselves socially as a key barometer of their big business muscle. Breaking this rule shows poor judgment. And this applies to social relationships too. Save heavy relationship discussions for after dessert, not during the main course.
Good to know. And the third safe haven.
Technique 85. Chance encounters are for chit-chat. If you happen to run into someone unexpectedly on the street, at the airport with whom you are currently selling, negotiating, or engaged in any sensitive communication.
Don't try to advance your agenda.
Absolutely not. Do not capitalize on the chance meeting to press your point or try to close the deal. Keep the conversation light, brief, and sweet. Just pleasantries.
Why is that so important?
Trying to force a sensitive discussion in an unexpected, inappropriate setting can feel like an ambush. It can completely backfire, turning into your swan song with that person and ruining future opportunities. Respect the context of the chance encounter.
Okay, 3 safe havens. Parties, dinner table, chance encounters. Keep it light. What about dealing with someone who's upset or emotional?
Technique 86. How to prepare them to listen to you. When someone approaches you with a problem or they're clearly emotional, let them talk first. Let them dribble down. Let them babble on. Don't immediately jump in grilling them for facts or specific details.
Let them vent first.
Exactly. People often need to release their emotions to tell their story before they can calm down enough to listen rationally or provide clear information. Trying to get facts too soon will only frustrate them further and make them feel unheard.
Like the emergency room nurse asking for insurance details before asking what happened to you.
Precisely. I just cracked my skull and she was drilling me for my address. It was incredibly frustrating. Good companies know this too. LL Bean, for example, lets customers ask all their questions about a product before asking for the credit card number. Let the person get their initial thoughts or feelings out first.
And while they're emoting.
Technique 87. Echo the emo. While they're emotional, let them emote. Hear the facts they might be sharing, yes, but empathize like mad with their emotions first and foremost.
Focus on the feeling, not just the facts.
Yes, because facts speak, emotions shout. Smearing on the emo, acknowledging and validating their feelings, showing you understand why they're upset, sad, or angry, is often the only way to calm an emotional storm before you can effectively get to the factual core of the issue or propose a solution.
Like the customer service rep dealing with your stained pants.
Perfect example. The rep didn't argue about the facts. She immediately validated my anger and frustration. Yes, he did. He must have been mortified. I'm so sorry we caused you this pain and aggravation. Only after calming me down emotionally did she move to the solution. Validate the emotion first.
Okay, what if we're the ones who messed up, caused the problem?
Technique 88. My goof, your gain. When you make a mistake and someone else suffers because of it, your absolute priority is to ensure they come out ahead, way ahead. provide over-the-top compensation, exceptional kindness, a solution that exceeds their expectations.
Go above and beyond to fix it.
Way above and beyond. Top customer service pros actually welcome mistakes sometimes because it gives them a golden opportunity to shine, to demonstrate incredible responsiveness, and to turn a negative experience into a fiercely loyal relationship.
Like the dry cleaner sending replacements, an apology, and a gift certificate.
Exactly. That over-the-top response completely reversed my negative feelings and ensured my future business. It turns detractors into advocates.
What if you catch someone else doing something wrong? Lying, exaggerating, maybe even stealing something small.
Technique 89. Leave an escape hatch. Unless it is your direct responsibility to correct them, like you're their boss, or unless you need to intervene to save other innocent victims, do not confront them directly. Don't back them into a corner.
Give them a way out.
Yes, give the transgressor an escape hatch that allows them to save face, to keep their tricky puss in one piece, as the saying goes. You know what happened, they likely know you know, but you don't force a direct, ugly confrontation.
Why let them get away with it?
Because it maintains your class and avoids messy, often unproductive confrontations. You can then quietly resolve never to trust or deal with that person again. You handle it with grace, internally note the behavior, and move on without public drama.
Like Lady Stephanie retrieving her Fabergé egg by pretending the guest just wanted to see it in the sunlight.
Exactly. She got her egg back, the guest knew they'd been caught, but face was saved. Classy way to handle a rat.
Okay. How can we ensure good service from people in the future? Clerks, mechanics, etc.
Technique 90. Buttercups for their boss.
Buttercups.
A complimentary letter. To get special attention from a service person in the future, a store clerk who was helpful, an accountant who went the extra mile, a mechanic who was honest, send a glowing complimentary letter, a buttercup, about them directly to their boss or supervisor.
Tell the boss how good their employee was.
Yes. And make sure to couch it in a compliment when you ask the employee for their supervisor's name. Say something like, "You were so incredibly helpful. I'd love to let your manager know what a fantastic job you did. Could you tell me who that is?"
Why does this work so well?
Because a genuine compliment to their boss, or even just the promise of one, is an incredibly powerful insurance policy. It guarantees you will be remembered and well taken care of next time. Employees will go the extra mile for customers and make them look good to management. It's huge leverage.
Like your experience with the Staples assistant manager.
Totally. I wrote a letter praising his efficiency on a huge copying job. Ever since then, whenever I walk into that store, he practically rolls out the red carpet for me. It works wonders.
Good tip. What about showing support for speakers or performers?
Technique 91. Lead the listeners. Be the first person to applaud, to commend, or to publicly express agreement with the speaker, especially if it's someone you genuinely agree with or someone you might want favors from later.
Start the applause.
Yes, initiate it and do it with enthusiasm. This demonstrates confidence and leadership. Heavy hitters, influential people, tend to support those at the podium. The speaker will notice who inaugurated the applause and how enthusiastically. It subtly grants you big cat status in their eyes.
Simple but effective way to signal support and confidence. Okay, final technique. The great scorecard in the sky. Technique 92, what's this about?
It's a fundamental concept about relational dynamics. Between any two people, imagine there's an invisible scorecard hovering above their heads. This scorecard is constantly fluctuating, tracking who has benefited more from the relationship, who's done more favors, who currently owes the other.
A subconscious tally of give and take.
Exactly. And the person with the lower score, the one who currently owes more instinctively, pays deference, shows more respect, is more accommodating to the one with the higher score.
And successful people are aware of this.
Key players in life are constantly, even if subconsciously, aware of this score. Maintaining awareness of where you stand on these invisible scorecards in your key relationships helps you make all the right moves. It ensures you don't over-ask when your score is low or under-reciprocate when your score is high. Getting this balance wrong can lead to being subtly, or not so subtly, thrown out of the game permanently.
Like Charles, your dinner date who stood you up.
Precisely. He stood me up, giving him a very low score. Then, completely oblivious to the scorecard, immediately asked to reschedule at my house again, making zero effort to make up for his mistake or acknowledge his deficit. His lack of awareness of the score resulted in a firm, "Never, Charlie." Ignoring the scorecard can permanently damage relationships. Outro.
Wow. Okay, we have journeyed through What was that, 92 techniques? That was a real deep dive.
It really was. From the subtle power of that flooding smile all the way to understanding the great scorecard in the sky.
And things like the killer compliment, echoing their language, navigating phone calls, working a room.
Each of these little tricks, as they might seem, they might feel small on their own. But truly, together, they become the building blocks, the foundation for profound human connection and, yes, undeniable influence.
So here's something to think about, a provocative thought maybe. Consider this. The difference between someone who just seems to effortlessly climb that social and professional ladder
Yeah.
and someone else who constantly seems to bump against those invisible barriers we talked about.
The hidden glass ceiling.
Often it isn't about inherent talent or raw intelligence. It's the consistent, deliberate, thoughtful practice of these seemingly minor yet incredibly powerful communication moves.
That's absolutely right. It's about skill, practiced skill.
So the question for you, the listener, is how might your own destiny fundamentally change if you chose intentionally to become an instinctive, smooth mover in every interaction, instead of, just being a ragged rider kind of stumbling through life's connections?
It's a powerful question to consider, making these skills your own.
Absolutely. So if you found these insights valuable today, if any of this sparked a real aha moment for you, or if you simply enjoyed this deep dive,
We hope you did.
please take just a moment to like this episode, share it with a friend, maybe a colleague who you think might really benefit from these insights.
Just spread the knowledge.
And definitely subscribe to our channel. That way you won't miss any of our future deep dives into all sorts of fascinating topics. Your support, it really helps us continue to bring you the knowledge you need to be truly well-informed.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.